I've spoken before in extremely complimentary terms about the company Moss Bros and their old products pre-1975, say. Whoever was in charge then was in a competitive market, and they were determined to be the best, and they were the best, and they produced absolutely super quality stuff. Great manufacturing quality and materials that couldn't be bettered. This is an old 1960s hopsack weave morning coat. It's beautiful. Sadly, it's got a little bit of moth damage, so I might make this one into caps or something. All this really beautiful quilting on the inside, which was traditional in the morning coat, because morning coats were coats. They were worn as a coat when it was common everyday dress. So yeah, this is a really beautiful product. Super materials, well put together. It still has the pleat on the back of the tails. I've spoken about this before. When we see a beautiful girl wearing a pleated skirt or a micro-pleat skirt, it drapes, it flows beautifully. That's what the pleats do. A morning coat tails is supposed to have a pleat on the back, which helps the drape, especially in a lighter weight fabric. Yeah, all these corners have got cut, and they got cheaper and cheaper. I'm going to show you something that, in my view, is really abysmal. I can almost use the term disgusting. This is a modern Moss Bros evening tails, similar to a morning coat, of course. The fabric is about as cheap as you can get, quite honestly. Pretty cheap plastic buttons. I noticed the real horn buttons on that old coat. This is absolutely awful. A really cheap viscose lining on here. Even the Moss Bros label is sort of a bit down market. The tails, again, evening tails, missing a really important thing, missing the pleat just there. It's just a seam there. This is a rubbish product, but unfortunately on the ready-to-wear market, Moss Bros seem to sort of dominate, and this is what they're turning out. I don't know why it happened. I don't know who was in charge that said, oh, let's make them cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. It's hard for me to understand, because as a manufacturer, I know that you don't save very much money by putting a cheaper fabric in it. The high cost of manufacturing is in the labour. I would say that maybe only 20% is materials and 80% is labour. So you don't save very much by downgrading the materials that you use. So I really just don't understand why everything has got so cheap and nasty now. I've always aimed at vintage quality. This is a really nice old Harris tweed jacket that I'm making, and it's 70 years old. Still going strong, still looks great. These trousers were made in my factory. They're 560 gram Bismarck Moss corduroy. I probably made them 15 years ago. They're still going strong. Just use good materials and stuff will last forever, but that's not the way of the fashion business, unfortunately.